Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I am in a part of Fort Lauderdale that they call the Venice of America. And I'm going to take a cruise on the Jungle Queen boat, which goes through the area of Fort Lauderdale, where a lot of people have boats that get to their properties by boat. I did this cruise a few years ago, so this time I'm going to video it for you. So hop aboard with me. It's the Jungle Queen 4. And the boat docks right across the street from Fort Lauderdale Beach. Right over there. And here is the ticket office.
If you're going to buy a car, who are you going to call? Mike Rooney is a very well-known used car advertiser, very well-known used car salesman here in South Florida. Now, funny story, growing up, my parents always used to tell me, they'd be like, hey, Ozzy, you got to do good in school. You want to go to college, you want to get a degree, you want to get a good job. You don't want to end up being a used car salesman. Originally built for Roger Whittenberg. Roger Whittenberg is actually the founder of Lady of America Fitness Centers. Yeah, all you have to do is come up with one good idea, guys.
So that's his place.
Millionaire out here on Millionaires Row.
The fitness center guy.
Lots of successful entrepreneurs here in the city of Fort Lauderdale started off with just one good idea. This home on the left-hand side actually sold last year for the record-breaking price of $27.4 million. One of the largest amounts ever paid for a home here in Fort Lauderdale, $27.4 million. Directly ahead of us, channel markers 1 and 2 that'll lead us all the way up to the mouth of the New River up ahead of us. It's where most of our cruises will be taking place. We'll be heading up to our tropical isle that's past downtown Fort Lauderdale. Of course, a lot of boaters come out here to the yachting capital of the world. They go out and buy a beautiful brand new mega yacht, and before they even get out to the ocean, well, they run aground right there on the left. That's why it also gets the nickname Gilligan's Island. Yeah. So we're now officially leaving the intracoastal and entering the mouth of the New River. As you do enter the mouth of the New River, if you take a look off to your right hand side, you'll see an empty lot coming into view. This empty lot on the right hand side has not always been an empty lot. That actually used to be a beautiful home. It was a $5 million home built for the $6 million man, Lee Majors, the bionic man. Alright. Next up on the right hand side, you see a beautiful home over here with the orange barrel tile roof and the striped awnings. This one on the right was actually purchased by a senator from Wisconsin. His name is Senator Coles. Also happens to be the founder and owner of Coles Department Stores. Yeah. Huizinga back in the day, they purchased one used garbage truck for $5,000. They turned that one used garbage truck into Waste Management. That's the nationwide garbage disposal company. They actually ended up naming one of their yachts Business Stinks. So he bought the Miami Dolphins football team, Florida Marlins baseball team, and the Florida Panthers hockey team. He's the only man in the entire nation to own 3 major sports teams, all at the same exact time, guys. Coming up right here on the left, well, folks, this is where he lived. The yellow house coming up on the left is the guest house. Orange one after the yellow one is also the guest house. Green one. And this 3-story gazebo and bell tower coming down into the rock formation infinity pool. That was all custom built by Mr. Wayne Huizinga himself. He wanted a jacuzzi up there on the 2nd floor with a beautiful panoramic view. All the trimming around the gazebo all made out of 18-karat gold. And those bells play over 5,000 of his favorite songs and tunes. $27 million, guys. The house torn down, took a little trip up to Universal Studios Orlando, hired a couple designers and architects from Harry Potter World and Universal Studios, brought them back here to the city of Fort Lauderdale to build this house right here on the left. Not for him though, Wayne is not a Harry Potter fan. The house over there on the left hand side was actually built for his niece as a $21.5 million wedding present and starter home. Makes you think, don't you wish you had Uncle Wayne when you got married? While filming of the movie Cape Fear, starring Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte. During the filming of the movie, they actually tore down the palm trees, put in pine trees to make it look like it was in the Carolinas. Oh, keep your eyes peeled, guys. We have lots of iguanas here in Fort Lauderdale. By the way, you guys know how to tell the difference between the male and the female iguana, right? The male bobs head up and down, the female side to side. Kind of like us. Now, if you don't have your cameras out, you might want to start getting them out and get them ready here. Coming up ahead of us and over to your right-hand side. Opened its doors in 1936. They just recently added the new tower in the back to provide 300 new rooms for their guests. One of the oldest hotels located here in Fort Lauderdale, the Riverside Hotel. And on the right, a little history. White house, green trim, brown shingled roof. That's the historical Stranahan House, built in 1901 for Frank and Ivy Stranahan. That's the old Indian trading post. That is the oldest surviving structure located here in Fort Lauderdale. And coming up ahead of us, just around the corner, guys, is our first of 4 total automobile drawbridges that will be opening up on our way up to our tropical isle. All of these bridges do open up on request.
Might see iguanas hanging by the bridge. Lay out the sun.
And of course, guys, I'm not sure if we have any NBA fans on the boat, but Shaquille O'Neal used to play for the Miami Heat back in the day. Before he left South Florida, he actually left us his backyard patio chair over there on the right-hand side. You can see it. This is actually called Little Florida, and it gets that name for obvious reasons. Take a look at the pool. It's more or less where Lake Okeechobee should be. We're going to come around Miami, through the Keys, and onto the Gulf side of Little Florida. And speaking of Native Americans, take a look off to your left-hand side. You'll see a thatch roof cheeky hut. This is wild, so if you kind of want to see what they look like, there's a whole bunch down there. And this house is pretty neat. Take a look at that, guys. They have 6 archways. Now, those archways can actually be open or enclosed and have yourselves an indoor or outdoor Florida room. So that's kind of nice. Basically a convertible house. Right here on the left, right about now. Coming up on the left-hand side, this is River Reach Condos. Island living within the city. If you have a big hello there on the left-hand side. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello there! We always like waving at our locals out here, guys. The bad news, the good news is at those prices, most marinas here in the city of Fort Lauderdale will give you a free 6-pack with every fill-up. So don't just get like 30,000 or 40,000. You gotta fill it up all the way. Don't be cheap. So now you got your yacht, you got your fuel, you got your crew. Now you can go out and enjoy your yacht. There's obviously a lot more expenses that go on with it, but that's the good one right there. So anyways, Lauderdale Marine Center right here on the left-hand side. It just keeps going and going and going. Seems like it never wants to end. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, off to your right-hand side, you guys are on the Jungle Queen. So you guys are like, where is the jungle? And it looked like in 1935 when this company first started transiting the waters of the New River. Can you imagine our 1-hour tour back in the day? Like going up to the island, like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, look on the right, we have a tree. Would have been pretty interesting. No, I wish we definitely did have a little bit more of the jungle left.
This is on a private island that the Jungle Queen has stopped at, and they have a few caged animals to look at, including Homo sapiens, which seems to have escaped their cage. And now we're going to have an alligator show.
Excuse this one out of my way a little, and I'm going to very gently take him out of the pit, just like I'm doing by his tail here. Like I said before, guys, I don't want to hurt them at all. So I'm going to very gently take him up here. Notice that I'm using the tail. Anybody have a guess why that might be? Open like this, the entire inside of his mouth is lined with very, very sensitive nerves. So anything that touches on the inside of his mouth will cause it to shut violently. It's a reflex action. He can't control it, neither can I. You know, just like when the doctor taps on me with a little mallet, it's the same thing. In the wild, it helps for these guys to capture food, like fish and turtles. This alligator here, he's 8 to 9 feet long, somewhere in the area of 250 pounds of solid muscle, so quite a bit larger and stronger than I am. So in order for me to capture him by myself, I'm going to need to take advantage of his disadvantages. One of those is that when his mouth is open like this, it also creates a blind spot where he technically can't see me doing this. But If I'm not careful, the consequences are very, very serious. Right down on his back. And now that I'm in the dumbest place you've ever seen, the next thing that I have to do is secure those jaws. You can basically hold these jaws shut with just one hand. Go ahead and clap, folks, I don't mind. Thank you guys very, very much. All right. Feel free to do that throughout the whole show, guys. It's not going to bother me or the alligator. So, now I've captured the alligator. I've secured the jaws. I need to tie them shut with a rope or a leather strap that I brought with me so that I can safely take him home. What do you need to tie a knot in a rope? You need 2 hands. So I'm going to need a volunteer. I'm just kidding. Believe me, I would love some help, trust me. But remember, the Seminole man would have been out there by himself, so they came up with a technique that we call bulldogging, where basically I'm going to use my chest and my chin to hold his mouth shut long enough that I can tie it shut with that rope or leather strap. That looks something like this. Be nice. Thank you guys very, very much. All right. For those of you out there who are thinking, no, please don't, that is the correct answer. Those of you who said yes are my kind of people.
Please don't put your face in it.
All right. Here we go.
I can do it anyway.
Time out. It does require a little cooperation from him. Keep in mind, guys, these are wild animals. They're not trained. There's no trick to this. I just got to work with his behavior and hope he does what I want him to do. Also, you saw how he pushed me around there, kind of like I'm not here. I'm almost 200 pounds. Gives you an idea of how strong these guys really are. Thank you guys. Thank you. All right. Woo. Thank you. Thank you.
If you take their night cruise, they also do a dinner and a show here in this theater. They do a morning cruise, an afternoon cruise, which this one is, and then they also do an evening cruise where they have the dinner and show included. This shows the history of the Jungle Queen and a bunch of pictures from past years. Well, look at what is at the top of this tree. An iguana. Imagine climbing that branch there. Pretty good. Now here is an RV park I didn't know about. Wonder what their daily rate is. Wow, look how big this one is. Here's a modest little place. Now, some of the homes here look pretty modest. And then some are into the tens of millions. Like that one, pretty modest. That one. And this one's certainly very modest. Looks like this one needs some work done to it. That's the one with the caboose. And then you have these guys. How would you like that home right there? Or this one? No, they're still working on it. This one is for sale if you're interested. And here you could just build your own. Here's one of the side streets. I'm liking this one here. A lot of these are for sale. That one is too. Give her a call. There's a pretty modest home right on the corner. Write down that number.
Johnny Weissmuller was one of the most popular Tarzans. A lot of the old Tarzan TV series used to actually be filmed right here in Fort Lauderdale. He's also an Olympic swimmer. He used to even have a high dive board in his pool. His pool is 18 feet deep for that reason.
Well, we're back at the marina. I would consider that a very enjoyable cruise. Good day, folks.